In thinking about the direction of a YouTube or public media channel, you might ask yourself a few questions. What is appropriate to post publicly? How should I conduct myself? What are others going to think of the things that I put out? Am I being hateful or spiteful in any way? These are all really good questions to ask yourself. For me, I really wonder if Fresh and Fit ever asked themselves these sorts of things. I really think things would be different if they did. As many of you probably already know, the Fresh and Fit podcast was recently removed from the partner program. Over 1 year ago, they had been banned from many other public platforms such as Reddit and TikTok for the types of content that they were posting. Now, I have by far not watched, nor do I have much interest in watching any or more of their content. But you don't have to go looking very far to see and understand that a lot of the stuff that they were posting was pretty toxic in nature. My major view is that once you've seen one of their videos, you've really seen all of them. The depth of their analysis is extremely shallow, and ultimately it has to be due to the nature of their content. What I mean here is, come on. I'm sure we can all agree that the recipe for intelligible discussion is to engage in debate with 20-year-olds while they are all drinking alcohol. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Fresh and Fit definitely deserved what they got. The first point that really gets me is, of course, how exploitive their content is. I totally understand. Since the beginning of time, companies have been using young, attractive women to market their products, just as Fresh and Fit have. Something I covered in the Mackenzie Sharilia case is how immature certain parts of our brain are in young people. The frontal lobes, for example, are responsible for executive functioning, which include reasoning, judgment, future thought, planning, etc. These lobes are extremely underdeveloped in adolescence and even into the early 20s in some people. I'm the first to admit that when I was in my 20s, I was an absolute mess. I was definitely not thinking about what repercussions my actions had into the future. One of the really big icky things to come out in this mess is that their content was apparently being made in one of their homes or apartments. This is just kind of slimy in my view. Come on, you're inviting a lot of young women over to your place, serving them alcohol. I don't really have to comment much on this, I feel like. It just sort of looks bad, you know? I think what really did these guys in is how abusive they were towards other content creators. It's pretty funny because, again, it's reflected of their low level of analysis. Come on, if these guys had any insight, they would have realized that abusing the copyright strike system on YouTube would likely have some negative consequences. Again, if you're banned from one social media platform, it's quite likely that the others are not going to really take a favorable view of how you're behaving. The lead attorney put out a fantastic video in which he outlines all of the strikes that he had received from Fresh and Fit. And he was all along using their clips for like 20 seconds. There were several other online content creators which are, of course, beloved. I had seen Abin preach in a few of their videos, and those guys are pretty good. I definitely approve. At one point, Fresh and Fit had also attacked Ethan and Ela Klein, which is pretty hilarious. I don't believe it's really necessary to digress too much, but there's really no basis for the claim that your wife is getting ready to leave you when she starts going to the gym. I did some pretty good searching on this and couldn't find any evidence to suggest this. This is again kind of taking us back to the original point that these guys got what they deserved. If Fresh and Fit knew anything about Ethan and Ela, they would know they have several children together and have been married and together for a very long time. But of course, I wouldn't have expected these guys to do much research. I mean, again, in part of my video, it shows all the depth of their analysis when someone asked them about the lead attorney. They simply just pass. In the end, I don't really know what crying on their show would really do for them. It's a little late now. I really disagree with the lead attorney too. I think these guys got what they deserved, and that karma is a real thing. These two were abusive towards these two were abusive. These two were abusive to the own. These two were abusive in the exact ecosystem in which they are still a part of. Accountability for your actions is why society functions and why it is civil. Otherwise, people would be going around looting, robbing, mugging. If no one had accountability for their actions, well, I don't know that I would necessarily want to be a part of that society. Again, if these guys had any ability to think deeply, they would have asked themselves a long time ago, hey, maybe we should clean up our act a little bit.
About how all this started.
Yeah, so a couple other content creators got hit, but they didn't get the email that we got. What they got was instantaneous strike.
Then those strong young brothers from Playback showed up and they talked about what was going on. Can you tell us a little bit about your interaction with this situation, kind of where it started with you guys?
Yeah, so our previous system was we would just look at videos online, and if we saw something, we
same pain just last year. How did they do that, you ask? Well, Fresh and Fit hired a $2 attorney and a 7-cent paralegal to spam out copyright strikes across all of the platform targeting certain content creators. Fresh and mission. It is under review to ensure it's valid. Here is the information you filled out. Here we go. Copyright owner name, Fresh and Fit. Now, you only need 3 to lose your channel. And this guy hit me with 10. That YouTube receives a large amount of fraudulent copyright takedown results. And we take this abuse of that process very seriously. You may be able to avoid termination if you retract your takedown request.